Welcome to the Raise Your Energy podcast. My name is Linda Lange and I am your host and energy expert. I am so excited about this episode as it speaks to so many universal truths. But a lot of people are not aware of any of it. I wasn't either until just a few years ago. If I look back at my life now, I just know that I didn't know better. I just couldn't. So I want to change this for you today. I know that you are ready for this information in your life. The difference between the ego and the higher self. So let's begin. I want to shine a light on the difference between the ego and the higher self. And why it's helpful for you to understand the differences, why you even want to care. The number one reason for you to know the difference between these two parts of you is to distinguish between them when it comes to taking actions, making decisions, and reacting to the people or circumstances in your life. Once you know the difference, you will be able to see more clearly if you are led by your ego or by your higher self. And both parts play an important role in your life, no doubt about that. But most of the time, we are led by our ego these days. Actions taken and decisions made from the ego are very different to those taken from the higher self. If you by any chance listened to or watched episode 112, you are now pretty well informed about the comfort zone, what it means to stay in the comfort zone and to step out of the comfort zone. In this case of your comfort zone, the ego wants you to stay in the comfort zone, where it's safe and where it's predictable, versus your higher self wants you to step out of your comfort zone so you can have new challenges in your life that you can learn from, new experiences, and go after your dreams and desires. The ego is concerned about your survival. Your best chance to survive is when everything around you and in your life can be predicted and is known. That means no changes, no new people, no adventures, no going after new goals. Makes sense, right? But in these times, our survival is not very often in danger anymore. It's not like it was thousands and thousands of years ago. But we still let the ego guide all of our decisions and the next steps we take in our lives. And the main reason for that is because we just don't know any better. We have not learned this at school. Nobody ever explained to me until recently that I don't have to listen to my ego, that there is another part of me that I can decide to listen to instead. And that other part is my higher self. And my higher self wants me to go out there, to challenge myself and to expand my life and my world. I can't tell you how grateful I am that I have learned this and to know the difference now between my ego and my higher self. And if what I have shared with you until now already excites you or triggered you in some kind of way, then this message, this knowledge is for you. You are ready to learn the difference between your ego and your higher self and apply it into your life. We are now going to discover my top 5 differences between the ego and the higher self. Obviously, there are many more, but these are the ones I find the most impactful and insightful. Difference number 1, how both of them view the world. The ego sees life through a very limited lens. And this limited way of looking at the world comes with a mindset of lack, scarcity, and that there is not enough for everyone. It makes sense that the ego would think like that, right? Given that it wants you to survive. So to keep you alive, the ego needs to analyze, assess, and compare your external environment to find out if something is missing, if there is a danger, or to decide if there is still enough to survive. The higher self sees life through a very limitless lens. It knows that you are always going to be alright and therefore it wants you to push your boundaries. There is nothing to be scared about outside of your comfort zone. Your higher self sees no limits in yourself all the resources in the world, and therefore it just doesn't worry. Okay, difference number 2. One reacts and one responds. Your ego mostly reacts to your external environment. It's occupied with finding potential threats and some kind of scarcity around you, so it can only really react when something happens. And that something is quite often a trigger. It usually looks for something wrong, so it can react to it and make sure that you're still going to survive. So you could say that it looks more on the negative side of life. When it finds something and it gets triggered, it uses the situation to affirm its belief that the world out there is a dangerous place and everyone is only out for themselves. The higher self sees the bigger picture and the connectedness between everyone and everything. It therefore does not get triggered, but rather reflects before responding. It knows that everything happens for a reason and is an opportunity to learn something. It does not allow people and situations on the outside to unbalance the peace on the inside. And because it has this position of pure peace, it does not get triggered into feeling negative emotions. It rather takes in what just happened, it reflects, and then it responds. Over to difference number 3, how both of them communicate with you. Let's assume the ego and the higher self each have a voice inside of you. So what does each voice speak and sound like? The ego communicates usually in a loud, frantic, anxious and dramatic voice. It reacts quickly and it wants you to act quickly as well. So it communicates in a very rushed manner, one thought after the other, which can often contradict itself and not feel very aligned. Know that feeling? The ego's voice is heavy with emotions and drama, with a really highly charged tone behind its message. Remember that it wants you to survive, so it will try to hold you back from doing anything new or unknown. And it will classify as well everyone and everything around you as a potential threat to hurt or harm you. We learned already that the ego does not like change. So in its communication, it will distract you from making changes. It will create stories about why it's just not the right time to change, or create worst case scenarios so you give up quickly. The voice of the higher self sounds cool, calm and collected. It's very consistent in its message and it does not change its mind just in an instant. When you hear your higher self speak, it feels like this deep and grounded knowing inside of you. The messages are really straight talking and direct, but emotionally as well very neutral. Your higher self gives you messages and guidances and insights for you to go out there and fulfill your purpose. It won't hold you back and try to scare you into staying where you currently are. The higher self loves change. It loves new experiences and challenges, and it will always encourage you to expand and to go beyond. It is your biggest cheerleader and sometimes your stern guardian angel. Difference number 4, outer world versus inner world. The ego is focused on the outer world, your external environment. When something is not going as planned or wished, it tries to find the problem in your circumstances. That can be other people, like your partner, your children, your boss, or it tries to fault a country, a government, society, religion, or a political situation for anything that is wrong in your life. The ego believes that matter is all there is and nothing else is important other than owning as much as possible to be safe, to be secure, to have status, to be seen as well put together. It's very attached to the physical 3D reality, as it does not really sense or perceive anything else other than the physical. But that means it's focused heavily on the survival and it fears death and it fears losing everything. The higher self is focused on the inner world. It understands that our outer world, the external environment, is only a reflection of our inner world. So if something is not going as planned or wished, it turns within and reflects on what needs to internally change, so the external change will follow. The higher self, or someone living closely connected to the higher self, takes full responsibility for every part of their life. There is no blaming, no complaining, no judging or suffering due to others or external circumstances. It's all about the self to change the inner self, which means beliefs, perceptions, attitudes, thoughts, emotional addictions, and so on, to be able to change the life we're living in this 3D world. It's more focused on energy and frequency and the spiritual world. It lives by universal laws and knows that everything physical is ultimately just energy brought into existence by our mind. And difference number 5, how both of them behave in this world. The last difference that I'm sharing with you shows how the ego and the higher self show up in your life. Knowing this means you can look out for it. You can catch yourself acting in one way and identify if this is from your ego or from your higher self. The ego's typical behaviors are to overly care what other people think, to feel jealous when someone gets what you want, and to compete with others for money, status, and love. Behaviors like complaining, blaming, talking behind people's backs, and making excuses for yourself come from the ego. The ego makes decisions based on fear, lack, and scarcity. It can't easily or at all let go of things that don't serve you anymore, for example, a toxic relationship, an awful work environment, and bad habits. The higher self only makes decisions from within, from intuition and from the heart. It provides you with signs if something does not serve you anymore and gives you the opportunity to let it go. As a higher self knows about its divinity and oneness, it feels compassion and empathy for every person in this world. It can see the good in each person and each situation, however dreadful it might be. It celebrates other people's successes as it knows about the unlimitedness of money, love, and energy. And it loves to give to others with no conditions or expectations to receive something back in return. I hope that showing you the main differences between your ego and your higher self has been as eye-opening as it was for me when I started to learn this. I wish that this is something we teach at schools and at universities. Every person in this world should be aware and knowledgeable enough to distinguish if they are living, deciding, and acting from the ego or from the higher self. So help me with this message and carry this knowledge out into this world. Start by applying this into your life and take back your control and take back your energy. Thank you so much for watching this video with me today. If you liked it, I would love for you to leave a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel for the next episode. And with that, I love you and leave you. Talk soon and bye bye.